If you've watched my video on the relative minor, you'll know that minor scales are created by starting on the sixth step of a major scale. Here's C major, and here's A minor, using the same notes as C major, but starting on the sixth note, A. The relative major has a very strong tonal centre, and it's always more persuasive with a greater gravitational pull than the relative minor. Shifting the tonal centre to A using these notes is a bit precarious, since it's never going to be as strong as C. The thing that really secures the C as the tonal centre in this major scale is the semitone interval at the top of the scale. It comes after a sequence of tones, and that change to a semitone step creates a sense of finality, as if we've arrived at a destination. Let's use the same trick for our relative minor. Here's A minor, but now with the top interval made into a semitone by sharpening the seventh note. This tweak creates a much more convincing and permanent shift of tonal centre away from C to A. For this modified A minor scale, we're no longer using the same notes as for C major, and this customized sequence has a different sound with a strong pull towards A. This scale is known as the Harmonic Minor. As the name suggests, it's very useful for creating chords in minor keys. It can also be used for melodies, but now that we've sharpened the seventh note, the interval from the sixth is 3 semitones, giving the scale an almost exotic feel that might not be the melodic sound you're really after. So, to recap. Find the natural minor scale by starting on the sixth step of the relative major, and then, to create the harmonic minor, sharpen the seventh note of the resulting minor scale. That characteristic sound of the harmonic minor, with a large interval of 3 semitones between the sixth and seventh notes, can be a bit awkward. If you want something that sounds less dramatic, then we need to make another tweak. We want to close up that large interval between the sixth and seventh notes, which we do by sharpening the sixth note as well. Here it is. It sounds a lot smoother, and it's much more useful for melodies. In fact, this version of the minor scale is called the Melodic Minor. Now, here's the thing. Let's compare A melodic minor with A major. Here's A melodic minor. And here's A major. In fact, the only difference between them is that in A major the third note is a semitone higher. All the other notes are identical. One effect of this is that coming back down the melodic minor scale, it sounds as though it's a major scale, right until you get to the third note, which comes as a surprise because your ears expect the third of the major scale. So, weird as it might seem, in classical circles the melodic minor scale is played with a sharpened sixth and seventh on the way up, and as the natural minor on the way down. Let's see this in action with a snippet of music by Bach from his famous Bourrée in E minor. E minor is the relative minor of G major, so it has a key signature of F sharp. In bar 2, the tune uses the top 4 notes of the E Melodic Minor scale with the sharpened 6th and the sharpened 7th. That's C sharp and D sharp. But then on the way back down the scale, those sharps are removed again, replaced with D natural and C natural. Here's the whole thing. In everyday use though, especially if you're using a melodic minor scale to improvise in jazz for example, you would use the same set of notes whether the direction of your tune is up or down. It is simply the natural minor with a sharpened 6th and a sharpened 7th. On the other hand, if you're taking classical exams on your instrument and you're asked to play some melodic minor scales, you'll need to provide the ascending version and the descending version. By the way, in a piece of music that uses the harmonic or melodic minor, the altered notes don't appear in the key signature, but as accidentals, temporary alterations in the music itself.